and just really appreciate you all taking the time to be a part of it. We have had a really, really good a summer to date. We have 3 more days of workouts, and then we'll give our kids a little bit of a break before school starts back up on the 17th. But we have everybody here. They've made great strides both in the weight room and on the basketball court. Been really pleased with the individual improvement by everybody, and then how well our freshmen have adjusted to college life, and then just the speed and the tempo that we do things. So from there, if anybody has some questions, feel free. And then I think we also have some video to show a little bit later of some of our workouts for you all to get a chance to see our players.
Jeff, this is Kent with WHAS 11. When workouts are done before the semester starts, are your players going to stay here? Or are you guys going to allow them to be able to go home?
No, we're going to allow our players to go home. I think it's important for them. They've done such a great job all summer here of making sure they kept their circle small, extremely small, and the last thing that I want them to do is to just sit here. The ones that are able to go home and not be able to go spend some time with family. So they are going to go home, and then when they come back, we'll do whatever the necessary protocol is for them. If it's 7, 10, 14 days, whatever it might be. I'm just a believer that giving them the chance to go home, be with family, is way more important than possibly me losing a week or a week and a half of some voluntary workouts.
Hey, Jeff, it's Cameron from the Courier Journal. Curious, just obviously you guys starting up kind of in the middle of a pandemic with so much has changed. Just how have the girls been able to handle that as you guys started workouts?
They've been great. Last year, and I've before on these calls, when we got that phone call that the NCAA tournament had been canceled, we came up here into my office as a team and sat down and talked about it. And we shared some laughs, some tears, and a wide range of emotions. But as they all left that day, we had talked about, are we going to be that team that uses the pandemic as an excuse of why we couldn't get better? The gyms were closed. They took rims off of backboards in parks. No access really to courts. Or are we going to be that team that figured out a way? Lay in your bed, work on form shooting. Go outside and work on ball handling, work on passing, and figure out a way to get better. And I can honestly say we have gotten better. We have gotten better individually, and from watching us through our workouts, we've gotten better as a team. So we're optimistic about what this season could potentially hold. But at the same time, we know we have to continue to do our job and be very diligent of what we're doing outside of basketball.
Jeff, hey, it's Jody Dimling with Cardinal Authority. During this whole time, we hear about strength coaches and strength staffs and things that people in other sports. Can you kind of brag on Katie for a minute? Because I know when we've had Kiana and Dana, they were talking about how she's been on top of them and the things that she's done for them and gotten them to do during this whole thing is maybe what's going to set teams apart next year is who was doing the work.
Yeah, Jody, there's no question about that. Katie has done a remarkable job for us, and just simply at the beginning, instead of expecting players to have access to a weight room, to dumbbells, she sends out the email and says, "What do you have at your house? Tell me what you've got at your house." And then she was able to carve a training program out of what they had in their house, even if it was, empty gallon of milk. Let's fill it up with water. Let's use that as we're doing some training. We had kids carrying chairs up hills. just to do whatever they could do to figure out a way to get better. And she made it fun. And I think at a time we needed some laughter when our players were sharing their videos with each other of who was trying to be the most creative in their workout. They had a lot of laughs with it. So we not only got better, but I think we got closer as a team because of this, and Katie was a big part of it.
Jeff, this is Gary Graves from AP. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
All right. In terms of monitoring and testing and all that, I mean, how much do you think the protocols can change over the next couple of months? I mean, how much closer you can monitor players when they're away from you?
Well, you're not. I mean, we don't have the luxury of going into a bubble like the NBA and WNBA. We don't have that. Our kids are in school, so we're going to have some players that are going to class. So we just talk to them all the time about making sure they are being responsible. If they're going to go out to eat, which it's okay, you're allowed to do that. Make sure you wear a mask. When you get to your table, you can take the mask off. Do everything that we're being asked to do to try to help stop this spread. And they've done it. I mean, I've been really, really impressed. So we'll continue to talk to them. They want to have a season. They want to play. So they understand it's really important that they do their part, as well as, us here as coaches, as administrators, as staff, to make sure we're giving them the best chance possible so we can compete come fall and winter.
Jeff, Fred Callaghan with WLKY. The Pac-12 players just signed this big thing, released it to the media. They're concerned about what they're walking into. Are your players concerned? I mean, are they scared that they can get sick or transmit it to other people?
Well, we have talked about it. We've sat down and shared each other's concerns about it. They know that it's okay. If they don't want to play, that is fine. If they don't want to work out, that is fine. Nobody's going to be mad at anybody. But they're excited. They're excited about being in the gym. They want to be in the gym. I've got a pretty large group of my team that has aspirations of playing after college. And some of them want to have a season so they can show people what they can do. But at the same time, there is absolutely not 1 ounce of pressure from any coach, from any staff member, any administrator that has told these young ladies, at least on my team, you have to play. You're on scholarship, you have to play. No, they don't have to play. I totally understand what's going on in our society right now, in our world right now with the pandemic. That's why we're working as hard as we can. We go groups of 6 in individual workouts. We go for 45 minutes, and then we clear that group out. And then my staff, we're down there. We're Clorox wiping down every basketball. We're Clorox wiping down the backboards, the rims, the shooting guns. I mean, everything. Because we want to make sure we're doing our part to make sure these players are safe. And they just seem really, really excited about hopefully having the opportunity to play.
Jeff, this is Ken again with WHAS 11. When you're preaching, to your kids about the ability to make sure that you're doing the right things, do you use the example that, Asia got it and it really rocked her? It seemed like for a long time, to say, hey, you may think you're bulletproof, but yes, you still can get sick, and this thing is serious. Did you ever use that as an example to them?
Oh yeah, we talk about it all. We're not going to sit here and pretend that it's not out there, and if you get it, it might not have an impact on you. I'm not naive. I'm not going to sit here and try to make stories up to these kids, because I treat them like they're my own kids. Right now with what we are doing and how we're doing it, I would have no problem if my 4 children were out here participating with my team. I truly would not. And as I talk to my players, I listen to what they're doing when they go back to the dorm room, what they're doing at night, they have cut their circle of friends down so tight that they're really hanging out with each other. And they're being true to each other to make sure it's like, hey, I'm not telling you, I'm not doing anything, Fred. I'm just, I'm good. And then I'm out at a party with 50 people. That's not what they're doing. So we understand that, there's a lot of unknown with this virus. But at the same time, I think we have a lot of players that understand that, but also want to continue to work because their aspirations and their dreams are to hopefully one day become professionals and make a living out of playing this game. And I think they understand that, hey, if I don't do anything for a year or a year and a half or wait for a vaccine, I very well could get passed up. So they're in here on their own. I mean, they're asking me, can we get in the gym more? Where in the past, we have a finger scan. So we had 24/7 access for our players to come in the gym whenever they wanted to. Those scans are turned off now. They cannot get in this gym unless our trainer is here to take their temperature before they walk. Once they walk through the door, we have to have staff here so we can clean up. They cannot be in the gym for longer than 50 minutes because that gives us time to clean everything up before the next group comes in. We just this past weekend, we were finally able to figure out a time that they were going to be able to come in here for 50 minutes and shoot with our trainer. And then we had staff behind them cleaning everything up, but they wanted to come in more. And I'm like, guys, we can't. There's a protocol we have to follow. Normal, you can be in here as much as you want. So our players know, they understand, but I think they're very comfortable with what we're doing to try to make this as safe as we possibly can.
Jeff, hey, it's Jody again. I know it's been limited on the on what you've been able to do with them as a team and as a group, but for the newcomers, what have you seen so far? And pleased with how you said you're pleased with how they've adjusted. What about on the floor? How they've adjusted in the limited stuff that they've done?
Yeah. Now, Jody, I'm really pleased with all of them. We have had some very spirited one-on-one games and workouts. Haley Van Lith and Dana Evans have had some of the most spirited one-on-one games that I've seen in a long time. Two kids that are fierce competitors that want to win, but at the end, when they're finished, they're talking to each other about, hey, here's what I was trying to do to get by you. Here's how I was trying to stop you. So even though they're trying to win, they're also at the end of it helping each other get better. And then you've got Elizabeth Balagoon and Marissa Russell going out there competing head on head. Alana Smith in that group, Olivia Cochran with Liz Dixon, Romani Parker. It's been pretty impressive. So I'm really, really excited about how the new ones have adjusted and are actually bringing energy to our returning group. It's really kind of motivated them and re-energized them too, because it's competitive every single day.
Hey, Jeff, Cameron from the Courier Journal again. Just you mentioned you feel like having so many people back, having an experienced group, helps you a little bit as you maneuver through a time where there's so much uncertainty and there's so many new protocols?
Well, I think it does in the fact that our returners are able to really talk to our new ones about, hey, it's okay, guys. If you don't get in here on Saturday night, you're fine. We've sat here. We've gotten enough shots up. We've really worked hard this week. We've gotten better. So I think your returning players can really just help your incoming freshman and Alana, our junior college transfer, to just know that the work we're doing is good work. It's not always about the volume that you put in, it's the quality. And the quality of work has been really, really high.
Jeff, it's Dominique Yates, also with the Courier Journal. I guess kind of a follow-up to the point you made about some of the scrimmaging and things that's been going on. But have you been able to even throw in like some plays and things that you want to run, or are you going to plan to do that at a little bit later time when they return back to campus?
Yeah, we'll worry about that at a later time. Now we have put in some transition options that we'll look to work on in transition. Really been working on tempo because we want to play faster than we did this past season. We graduated Kylie and Bianca in the post. Liz has really improved. Then Olivia. Then you've got Romani. So we might not have the depth in the post this coming season as we've had in the past few years. The quality is there, very good, but we might not have the depth. So we're going to go 4 guards at times. So we're trying to pick up our tempo, trying to get the ball up and down the floor a lot quicker than we have in the past, trying to create more scoring opportunities, and get quicker scoring opportunities.
Jeff Cameron again from the Courier Journal. Just you talked about everybody's improvement. What have you seen from Dana since she came back? Obviously coming off ACC Player of the Year.
The kid loves to work. The kid's in the gym. I mean, it's one thing I never have to question is her skill, her work ethic, her mindset. But I'd say the most impressive thing that I've seen is her ability to try to help lead her team. She's been a great teammate. Her and Kiana will be our 2 captains for this upcoming season. And they've really done a good job of keeping everybody organized and then kind of organizing weekend activities. Because we get in here maybe for an hour on the weekend and then the rest of it's theirs. It's free. And those are the times if you're going to worry about where are they going, what are they doing, who are they out with, that's the time. But our kids have done a great job, and Dana and Kiana and all of them, of, hey, let's do a team activity together. And they've been able to organize those, which has really helped allow them to get to know each other better as teammates. But then at the same time of kind of occupying time. So there's not as much free time where you just all of a sudden you start going out and exploring on your own.
Jeff, hey, it's Jody again. What have you? And obviously, everything is so different now. But as far as the summer work that you've done the last couple of weeks, has it been any different than structured wise than you would in the past, as far as what you're accomplishing and what you're getting done?
No, everything has been pretty consistent on the way we've done things in the past summers, Jody. The only difference is there's not as much access to them after our workouts. Normally they would like to come in here 2 or 3 nights and play pickup and do things on their own, which we can't do right now. And like I said, I'll give our kids credit. They understand that we're at times have never been seen before, and we have protocols to follow, and they've been doing a great job. I like that, Fred.
Jeff, one last question for you. For you to be, you said Kiana would be a team captain with Dana, and I know she talked about it a few weeks ago when we had her on one of these calls. What does that say for her? I mean, she sat out last year, but you guys recognize it, and I think her teammates recognize the leadership that she has, even though she's never played a minute here at Louisville.
Well, it just speaks volumes for how she competed during her redshirt year. It's one of the most challenging years for players, and there's such a difference of the mindset some players have. Some players' mindset is, okay, we've just got to get through the year. We got to get through the year because then next year I'm eligible to play. Where Kiana took the approach, even when she transferred here, she didn't even want me to try to file a waiver for her to become eligible right away. She wanted to use this year to work on her game, work on her skill set. And I think her teammates were able to see that day in and day out of how she came to practice and competed. She was trying to help them get better, and then she was working on her own game. So I think it's more so what she did all last year during our season, during practice, that really impressed her teammates to know, hey, she has an opportunity not only to be a great player, but to be a great leader.
Anything else for Coach?
Yeah, I sure appreciate Nick. Do we have a little bit? Can we show him a little bit of that or not?
Well, just email me and I'll get the video for him.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right, guy. I appreciate everything. Stay safe out there, and hopefully we'll be back in touch in a few weeks to fill you in on some more.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
And like
You're
Coach
gonna
said,
email us
if you guys
automatically?
have a video, just shoot me an email and I'll get that to you guys.
Okay, thanks.
And as a reminder to those of you call, that is, you do need to hang up and reconnect with that link.